Hi, everyone. My name is Emily, and this is my teammate Roland. And today we're going to explain a little bit about our cross training or cross cultural training that we came up with. We decided to go more of the direction of when you're working in a team or a small group in your business and you have different cultures that you have to work with. There's different types of cross cultural trainings. You can, like, let's say I go to work in a different country and I'm exposed to this one culture. There's different trainings that you have to do if that was the case, but we decided to focus on working with multiple cultures just because we're both the place that we both work. um this is just relevant to our lives, and it's relevant to pretty much everywhere. I personally have worked in many different places, and this has always been a thing. I've been on many different teams, sports teams, just kind of everything. So just this is important no matter what you do in life. So the first part, so this is our little context that we have: the introduction, learning outcomes, the sources, context, activities, evaluation, and conclusion. So this is just kind of an overview of what we're going to go over today. So, introduction and purpose of the proposed training. So, like I said, we are doing cross-cultural training when you're using and around multiple cultures many times or all the time. But cross-cultural training is designed to prepare individuals and teams to engage and collaborate in diverse environments, which is essential in a globalized world. Like I said earlier, we have both been in many different jobs that we've had to do this. It's not just in a marketing department or a writing department, or just it's in every department, in every workforce, no matter where you live, no matter where you are. So it just is relevant to everyone. Cross-cultural training helps improve communication, team collaboration, cultural awareness, and conflict resolution. The main goal is to develop cultural competence by understanding, listening, and adapting to a different way to the different ways of each culture. So pretty much, by doing cross-cultural training, it helps improve communication. You learn how to talk to people from different cultures. Sometimes I might be talking to someone who has a different background than me, and I just am not as aware as I should be on of their background. So just learning about it and focusing on it will overall help the communication of the team as a whole. Team collaboration: when you learn and you engage with your teammates and your coworkers, it just builds an engagement, a place to engage, and a place to just go and talk to someone. You feel more comfortable around them. You feel like they're not judging you based on your background or your perspectives. Everyone, even if I work with someone the same race or the same gender as me, everyone has different perspectives on different things. They have different backgrounds. So even though we might have similar characteristics, we will still think differently. So it's just important to be accepting to all and listening and just make everyone feel welcomed. So with our with our training, we want to make sure that participants learn about the different cultures that they have or that they will engage with in their organization. So we want to teach them about the traditions of each culture, the rituals and norms, kind of just expand their knowledge about the different backgrounds and perspectives that everyone has. Like I said, sometimes people might not know certain things, so then they'll get a little bit confused or not know that they're in the wrong about saying a certain thing or acting a certain way. So we just want to teach them. And when with that, we can teach stuff, but the participant has to also be willing to learn. So I think that's really important in these trainings.
And if I might add, a perfect example of that, I was working as an air traffic controller in Iraq, and what I didn't know that refusing assistance from them, or if they offered you something, some type of gift, or they brought food for you, if you turned them down, you refused that gift or that food or that kind gesture that they were putting out, that was considered very offensive in their culture, and it was unintended, but it was a cultural thing, that a tradition, that was offensive if someone refused a gift or an act of kindness from them.
Right. So yeah, Roland didn't know that. And there's a ton of different other examples just like that, where we don't realize it's something that might not be offensive in our culture is offensive in someone else's culture. So just kind of learning about the different cultures and how they work is just really important. So the bottom box, just knowing the different cultures will help the participants learn about what and why their coworkers think a certain way, will help utilize each person's strengths and abilities and create a cohesive and effective team. Like I just said earlier, or a few minutes ago, when each person feels valued, they're more likely to be productive and innovative. So kind of knowing everyone's strengths. If I'm good at writing because I grew up in a writing family, but Roland is good with technology because he likes, building computers and all of that stuff. You just want to find people's strengths and use that to your advantage. So the next part are sources, concepts, and theories. So the first one that we wanted to focus on is the social learning theory. It focuses on proposing that people learn by both observation and experience. Now, Roland and I were talking before this, and this is both how we learn. We learn by doing hands-on things, instead of just, listening in a lecture or whatever. Like, we like to be hands-on. So the four main concepts of social learning theory are attention, which is behavior must be first noticed before it can be copied. Retention, behavior must be remembered. Reproduction, behaviors and memory must be put into action. And incentives, behaviors that are perceived to be positively rewarded are enacted. So attention, retention, reproductive, and incentives. The four dimensions are self-orientation, other orientation, perceptual skills, and cultural toughness. And then finally, using both observation and experience can help participants associate a positive interaction with culturally appropriate sorry. But anyway, the little thing is in the way on my screen, but pretty much what that means is that in order to learn, you have to both observe, you have to be willing to observe and willing to notice certain things, and then you have to also use your memory that you just learned and put it into action. So this can be, when you have like a new teacher, she is doing her student teaching year. So she's observing a teacher throughout the entire school year, and then learning from the teacher and being hands-on with the students, and then taking what she learns from that student teacher year into her new year when she's an actual teacher. So that's kind of what social learning theory is. And then kind of similar to that is the next one that we decided to do is experiential training, which is engaging learning process where participants learn by doing, which is very similar to the social learning theory. But this can be simulations, cross-cultural exchanges, just different kind of things like that, like cross-cultural exchanges that can be, trying food from different cultures, or just doing other things that other cultures do, so you can kind of learn that what they do and why they do certain things. And then obviously it can provide participants firsthand insights into different cultures and help them develop empathy and adaptability. And I thought this was very interesting, but when I was doing the research, I found that when people use experiential learning, rates go up by 90% compared to the traditional training methods, which just blows my mind because, I mean, this would 100% work on me. I'm definitely like within that group that would be better using this type of training. So it's just kind of cool to see that it does make a big difference what type of training you choose to do when you do this. So the last one is general culture awareness training. So this training technique is best used when the participants are involved and around many different cultures. So this, we want participants to increase their knowledge and skills they need to comprehend, work with, and thrive in cultures different from their own. This training will focus on using effective communication skills to bridge the cultural divide, participating in traditional festivals, and food celebrations, like I just mentioned, in the cross-cultural exchanges, and then paying attention to cultural differences. So like I said at the very beginning on the first slide, we chose to do our training based on being around many different cultures instead of just like me being placed in one specific culture. We just wanted to use the concept of having like general cultures and multiple cultures around us every day. So there are a lot of different ways that this training can be used. Employees must work with colleagues from different cultures. This can be, either online or in person, just depending on your work, your group work, everything like that. If the organization is looking to expand into a new country, so let's say we're working in the United States and we're having to work with someone in England or in Finland or in Africa or just wherever, it really just helps us to kind of learn their cultural norms and what they do on a daily basis. And then also when an organization has a diverse work group, and then this is kind of a different section, but the training can be helpful when someone is not interacting correctly with their coworkers. They're not sure. Like Roland said earlier, when he was receiving the gift, he didn't know that was something that should not, or like that was a bad gift, or a bad gesture. So just kind of being aware of that. And then if the communication bridge is becoming an issue.
All right, some of the activities. What is being done? How is it being done? And what are the steps? Where will the training take place and the materials used? So some of the all participants will be trained on different cultures within an organization. If you don't know the cultures of the people that you work with, again, it's easy to offend someone and create create a hostile working environment. According to the colorblind perspective, all individuals should be treated equally despite their cultures. We'll all have cultural differences, and we won't agree on certain things, whether it be professionally, politically, anything. But the key is to still work together. They will be able to work with all individuals in an organization and communicate effectively. We'll have essential tools to adapt to all cultures. How is that being done? It involves the necessary participants, those of different cultures. I'm a Black male, Emily is a white female. We would probably need someone from a different ethnic background if we're going to develop a training program that's going to implement the different cultures. So that's what that means. Involve leadership. It doesn't matter how hard we work as individuals. If the people at the top aren't buying in and enforcing that or providing some type of incentive to make sure that the program is a success, it won't get anywhere. Expose cultures. Again, people are ignorant. Some people are ignorant to different cultures. I used an example earlier. I was ignorant to the culture in the Middle East, but I did learn. Provide the tools and the resources for those different cultures, define expectations, and implement employee feedback. What's the purpose of having a program or trying to create a program if you're just going to do it one way and not take feedback from the people that are most affected? Feedback allows you to create perfection. So the feedback is very important. Where will the training take place? On-site meeting in the conference room. That will provide some type of convenience and familiarity. You won't have to drive anywhere. It's a normal working environment, and it's cost effective. Doesn't cost leadership anything to do training on site, with the exception of the materials that you would already have to pay for. And the materials that are used. I think it's important to have more than one language. English is the official language, but we have people from different cultures. I think we should be mindful of that and try to accommodate them and have different languages. Follow along with the presentation and outside representation, experience trainings for questions or concerns. Everyone that'll be there will not be a subject matter expert. I think it's important to have subject matter experts on site to answer questions because questions will arise. Next slide. The evaluation. Reinforce key information in repeated intervals. Acknowledge participants who demonstrate cultural competence. Create surveys to be completed. Offer mentorship programs that can help empowerment of staff members and minority groups. Embrace feedback, and you measure success to revise the programs accordingly. Again, feedback is important. Without the feedback, we won't be able to make the progress. And that's how you're going to measure that success, with the feedback. Next slide. Conclusion. The training is relevant for today's workplace due to workplaces consisting of individuals with different backgrounds and cultures. As we said earlier, organizations can suffer due to lack of diversity. It can cause organizations to lack creativity and innovation, and can cause organizations to lack a safe environment due to individuals not working together. Again, we come from different walks of life, so I feel it's important to create a melting pot at work. Bring different ideas, different concepts, and just a fresh set of eyes and a thought process to the program.
And here are the sources that we used. Thank you.
Thank you for your time.